Hey everybody, it's Reckless, and welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall. In this video, I will be talking about everything we know so far about PVE for the Rise of Iron. I also have a video about everything we know so far about PvP, and I will put a link to that in the description below if you would like to check that out. So, once again, if you haven't heard it enough, the Rise of Iron will be making its debut on Tuesday, September 20th, 2016, which, as of this video, is less than a month away. So, let's get into what is coming to the Rise of Iron for PvE. Now, just so we get this out of the way, the Gjallarhorn and Thorn are making a return in the Rise of Iron, and we'll be also getting a Gjallarwing Sparrow. The Gjallarhorn, aka G-Horn, and the Gjallarwing Sparrow can be yours by pre-ordering the Rise of Iron. Sorry, I won't do that again. The Rise of Iron will ship with a 5-mission campaign or storyline, from which we as Guardians will be fighting alongside Lord Saladin against the fallen Devil Splicers who found the technological plague called Siva. During the story, we will be learning who the first Iron Lords were and how they came to be, as well as progressing through the story and becoming an Iron Lord ourselves. There is a new zone called the Plague Lands and a new social space called Felwinter's Peak, which at the top has a mausoleum that has been taken over by the Fallen, and we are being sent in to reclaim it. When the Rise of Iron is released, the Iron Banner will be relocating to Felwinter's Peak, and only during the Iron Banner will another section of the mausoleum be unlocked. And speaking about things being unlocked, once the story mission is complete, then a lot of the endgame content will be unlocked as well. In the Rise of Iron, we will be getting one new strike and 2 revamped strikes. The new strike is called the Wretched Eye, from which you are watching gameplay of it right now, and the 2 revamped strikes are the Summoning Pits, which will be called Abomination Heist once the release of Rise of Iron is here, and the Devil's Lair, at which the end we fight the boss, Sepix Perfected. In the Rise of Iron, there will be a new 6-man raid called Wrath of the Machines, as well as a 3-man arena called Archon's Forge, which is similar to the Court of Oryx and Prison of Elders, where you fight a 5-minute wave of enemies called the Culminates, which are fallen in the Plague Lands. In this area, you will be able to use a giant flaming axe, you know, like the one we see so much, like the Scorch Cannon in Prison of Elders. So, in a sense, the axe will only drop in a certain phase of the fight. And also, from much of the gameplay that we actually have seen about this axe, it will drop for all 3 characters, you and your 2 teammates. Access to the raid and to the new arena will be available after you beat the story mission. The raid is said to be primarily outside instead of being indoors like the previous raids, and the normal raid will be released on September 23rd, 2016, which is 3 days after the release of Rise of Iron. The same week the normal raid is released, Trials of Osiris will not be available, and Trials will resume the following week on the 30th. Also, the Rise of Iron will feature new public events as well as new patrols for you to complete. Light level, yes, the light level. The light level will be increased to 385, that's 385, and then to 400, which is 400, once the hard mode raid is available. As of right now, there is no date available for when the hard mode raid will be coming out. In the Rise of Iron, we will be getting 3 new main PV armor sets. This does not include the armor sets we get from factions or vendors. The first being the Iron Lord armor set, which is called the Days of Iron. We can get this from completing the Rise of Iron record book. The raid set is called Splice Cosmo Class, which you can get during the raid, and there is not much info, but there is also a Archon's Forge armor set as well, but there aren't any pictures that Bungie has shown just yet about this armor set. The Rise of Iron will have its own record book called the Rise of Iron Record Book, and it is account based, so if you complete a node with one character, then you complete it with all of your characters, which is pretty awesome. That way you don't have to keep doing it over with other characters. It's pretty cool. As I mentioned before, we will be getting new strikes, and as for strikes, when completing strikes and the Nightfall, we will be given a chance to receive what is called a skeleton key. With this key, you can open the Horde chest at the end of a strike to guarantee one strike-specific loot. That's one piece of strike-specific loot. Now, it is said that we can only hold 5 of these keys at once, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not. Now, the faction vendors will be getting a new stock of weapons and armor, so I suggest you guys go get whatever you want from them now, because it will not be there come Rise of Iron. And the factions will also add faction ghosts and speeders. So as of right now, there is no word on whether you will be able to buy the faction ghost and speeders, or if they'll just be in faction packages. Hopefully we could just, buy them. So yeah, be easier instead of just waiting on RNG. Then again, I think RNG would be a lot better. That way not everyone you know will have the same ghost and speeders. Once the Rise of Iron is released, if you rank up via your faction, Crucible, or Vanguard, we will now have the choice of picking either a weapon package or armor package, but we will not get the choice of the type of weapon or armor. So what this means is we won't be able to pick a special weapon package from the Vanguard or the Crucible Quartermaster in hopes of getting an LDR or a longbow, which, yeah, I think kind of sucks just a little bit. But at least we have a better chance to try to get them by picking just the weapon packages. The Rise of Iron will feature new items such as ornaments, which can be obtained by Radiant Treasure, which is similar to Sterling Treasure, and they can be found in-game or purchased from the Eververse Trading Company, or the ETC. Ornaments change the cosmetics of a weapon or armor piece. However, it wasn't made clear whether we can put ornaments on any piece of gear or only specific pieces of gear. Now, I do know that the Trials of Osiris have their own ornaments, and you can only get those ornaments by playing the Trials of Osiris. And if I'm correct, you have to go to the lighthouse to get a Trials of Osiris ornament, but don't quote me on that. The Rise of Iron will also have new artifacts, such as the new Iron Lord artifacts that have special abilities. And I actually made a video of this, so I will put a link in the description below, that way you guys can go check those out. Now, according to Bungie, some Year 1 armor, weapons, and every single class item will be making a rare appearance in the Rise of Iron, and be allowed to upgrade to the current light level in the Rise of Iron, except for raid class items. Now, Bungie didn't specify, but not sure if this includes Year 1 raid weapons though, but I doubt it. There will also be a few new vendors in the Rise of Iron, and 2 of them that we know of so far are Shiro 4, who, if I'm correct, is friends with Cade 6, and Tyra Karn. Tyra will be selling 3 of the Iron Lord artifacts each week on a rotation. We will need an item called the Iron Lord's Legacy to purchase these, and we will receive them after completing a task given to us by Tyra weekly. However, after you purchase an Iron Lord artifact from Tyra, you need to then bring it to its corresponding statue in the mausoleum in Fellwither's Peak to activate it. Now, I'm not sure if anything happens after you activate all 8 Iron Lord artifacts, but hopefully you unlock something. Now, we will be getting many new exotic and legendary weapons and armor in the Rise of Iron. Most of them have been shown in this video already, or some will be shown later on. With new exotics, we have the newer version of the Kvostov, which is the very first gun you get in Destiny, which is being remade, and it will be the most customizable weapon in the game with over 100 different combinations. It has a high fire rate and a magazine of 31 or 65, but that may change based on the perks you choose. The Nemesis Star, which is a solar exotic machine gun, has a high fire rate with high damage and a huge magazine size of 53 with insane stability. And the Trespasser, which is a 3-round burst arc exotic sidearm, has 18 rounds in the clip and unrepentant procs for 5 seconds after a precision kill. This weapon takes 3 body shots to kill an enemy and most likely 2 to 3 headshots to kill, which in my opinion for a sidearm is pretty badass, and I definitely can see people using this sidearm at least more than maybe even fusion rifles. But it'll be pretty debatable whether using it more than sniper rifles or shotguns. But it'll be used a lot more, definitely. As for my last bit of news, I have 3 more things to say, and bear with me. So as for the first one, Bungie has fixed an issue where class items wouldn't change to the color of a shader, and now in the Rise of Iron they will. And the last 2 bits of important information actually came from an interview with IGN with Deej and Dustin Lajari, and that is that the PlayStation exclusives for The Taken King will be available fall 2017 for the Xbox One community. Now, I'm not sure if Deej actually mixed up and meant to say 2016 and not 17, but in the interview he did say 2017. And lastly, as for vault space, Bungie has said that they will not be increasing vault space. However, in this very same interview that I was just talking about, Deej has said, quote, "This is not something that we are going to deliver on launch day with the Rise of Iron, but they tell me it's coming soon," end quote. And I will put a link in the description to that interview. That way you guys can actually check that out. So that is everything we know so far about the Rise of Iron when it comes to PVE. Now, I greatly apologize for giving you all of that information. I know it is a lot to digest, and if need be, by all means, rewind this video and go back and listen to it again. That way you guys can get everything, you know, pretty much at once. So real quick, I actually tweeted Deej a couple of days ago on Twitter, and it was because of something that Christine Thompson said, and she is the senior writer for the Rise of Iron. Now she said, and I quote, "SIVA is an acronym," end quote. And I tweeted Deej to actually find out what this acronym is. Now there's been many and much speculation in the Bungie forums on what the word SIVA or the acronym SIVA actually is. Still no response yet. Now also, and more importantly, I also tweeted Deej later on about trying to find out if there is such thing as a Rise of Iron Collector's Edition. Now, I'm not talking about the collection for the Rise of Iron. What I'm actually talking about is a collector's edition. Like when Destiny actually came out for the first time 2 years ago, they came out with a standard edition, a legacy edition, and a collector's edition. In the collector's edition for vanilla Destiny, you actually got a ghost, and for the Taken King, if I'm correct, we got a strange coin. That collector's edition was the most expensive version. That is one I want to know if there is one for the Rise of Iron. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So this brings us to the end of the video. Huge shout out and special thanks to Datto from DattoDoesDestiny for allowing me to use some of his clips in this video. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. If you feel this video is helpful, please feel free to share it, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Reckless, and remember, own your success, and I will see you guys later.